5 days ago, the most important piece of crypto legislation in American history was frozen solid in the United States Senate, dead in the water. And then late Monday night, July 20th, while most of Washington was asleep, something moved. Reports broke that Donald Trump himself signed off on a brand new ethics provision package. The single roadblock that had this bill locked in a cage for 7 weeks, and the money noticed before the news did. Polymarket odds on this bill passing had cratered to roughly 32% before the deal. By the morning of July 21st, they've ripped back to around 43%. Bitcoin then went to reclaim 66,000 for the first time in 5 weeks. But here's the part that nobody's connecting for you. There's a hard clock ticking on this. The Senate leaves for recess on August 8th, and if this bill doesn't clear the floor before that, one senator is warning that it could be pushed all the way back to 2030. I'm Ryan Huggins. By the end of this video, I'll show you what this ethics deal actually does, why it forces the hand of the exact people who blocked it, and where your XRP fits into this whole thing. If you're feeling bullish, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. And if you're going to be the first millionaire in your family tree, make sure you comment 777 down below. Let's run it. Welcome back, Bull Runners. If you're new here, this is the Bull Runners channel, which is built to decode the system while everyone else just reads the headlines. We've been on this Clarity Act story from the beginning. In our last video, I told you that Trump's own crypto empire was the thing that was blocking the bill. That story just got its ending, and it's not the one that mainstream press wanted. Let's rewind. The Clarity Act closed the House back in July 17th of last year, 2025, 294 to 134 votes, with dozens of Democrats actually crossing the aisle. It cleared the Senate Banking Committee earlier this year, and then it just sat there. Why? Because of one number. In Trump's 2025 financial disclosure, he reported an estimated $1.4 billion in crypto-related income for the year. I want to be precise here because the honest read matters. That's income, not holdings. That's $636 million in royalty from the Trump meme coin, several $100 million from the World Liberty Financial, and roughly $197 million from a stablecoin equity sale. His actual crypto assets in cold storage are a fraction of that total. But that $1.4 billion figure is what gave a wall of the Democrats their reason to dig in. Warren, Sanders, Gallego, Van Hollen, Murphy, all lined up against it. And here's the part that should make your blood boil a little. While Trump was booking that $1.4 billion, blockchain analytics firm Nansen found that nearly 1 million retail investors who bought the Trump meme coin had lost a combined $3.81 billion. Now, let those two numbers sink in. Retail lost almost $4 billion. Trump reportedly booked $636 million from the meme coin itself, and a separate group of roughly 500,000 early traders collectively profited close to $4 billion at retail's expense. That's the game. That's always the game. So the Democrats said, fine, no bill until we deal with this conflict of interest, and everything froze. Here's why the breakthrough matters and why it's so fragile right now. On July 16th, there was a meeting in the Oval Office. Trump, Senator Loomis, Senator Bernie Moreno, and White House crypto advisor Patrick Witt. By late Monday, reports hit that Trump had agreed to the ethics language. But watch this carefully. As of right now, the White House has only circulated that language to the Senate Republicans. The Democrats have not seen the final text. So the breakthrough that everyone is celebrating, it's one-sided. It's real, but it is fragile. And the honest read most YouTubers won't give you is that it may not happen. So what does this ethics provision actually do? In plain English, it stops the president, vice president, members of Congress, and other federal officials from personally profiting off of digital assets while they're in office. Enforcement is routed through the Department of Justice, not individual states' attorneys general. That detail alone was one of the last pieces to fall into place. But here's the beautiful part of the mechanism. This provision takes away the exact weapon that Warren and Sanders were using. Their whole argument was, you can't pass a crypto bill that enriches the sitting president. The moment Trump signs off on a rule that says nobody in office profits from crypto, that argument evaporates. It forces the hand on every anti-crypto politician who was hiding behind the ethics excuse. Now they have to either take the deal or admit the objection was never really about ethics. And the math is tight. You need 60 votes to break a filibuster. Republicans hold 53 seats, so they need at least 7 Democrats to cross over. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is calling the bill's status the 1-yard line. Senator Loomis is warning that if this window closes, comprehensive federal crypto regulation could literally slip all the way to 2030. The Senate's own 2026 schedule confirms recess begins August 8th, and that's going to run roughly 5 weeks until mid-September. That's not a soft deadline. That's a hard ticking clock, and the smart money is front-running the vote. I'll show you what's already moving because of it in a minute. Bitcoin reclaimed $66,000, hitting a 5-week high. But let me keep it real. I'm not going to pretend that it's a fresh breakout. Bitcoin is still trading below its key long-term level moving averages. So this is a bounce, not a new all-time high. This is institutions pricing in regulatory certainty, not euphoria. So watch what they do, not what they say. And here's what they are doing. Citadel Securities just put $400 million into Crypto.com, valuing that exchange at $20 billion. US spot Bitcoin ETFs just posted a 5 straight days of net inflows. The big money is quietly positioning while retail argues in the comments section about whether it's over. Now, I want to stop for 1 second because I know a lot of you are watching this. You have the news open in one tab, portfolio open in another. You're trying to trade this headline in real time. And I'll be straight with you. That's exactly how retail gets wrecked and liquidated. Trading a news event without a framework isn't investing. It's gambling with extra steps. This is precisely why we have the private intelligence network. We don't guess at headlines. We map the mechanism. We position ahead of the catalyst, and we manage the risk so a single bad tweet doesn't wipe us out. There's a free training, the first link in the description. No hard sell there, just the framework. Now, let's get back into it because this is where it gets real for us. Here's the casual link that everyone is missing. Banks physically cannot use digital assets for cross-border settlement if they don't know whether it's legally a security or a commodity. That legal ambiguity is the actual wall. The Clarity Act would formally classify XRP as a digital commodity under the CFTC oversight. That removes years of regulatory fog in a single stroke. Think of it like the financial plumbing. For decades, rails to move money across borders were owned by intermediaries, and they were taking a cut on every transaction. XRP was built from the ground up to be the settlement layer that replaces those rails. But a tier 1 bank is never plugging into those rails while the legal status is a question mark. Clarity is the legal green light, and the plumbing is already being built underneath us. On July 15th, the DTCC, the giant that settles almost every single trade on Wall Street, successfully processed tokenized trades involving over 30 traditional financial institutions. Their full tokenization service launches this October. And I know a lot of you XRP holders have been waiting years for this. XRP recently hit an intraday high of $1.15, breaking a resistance level that had been holding since late June. And if you held through all of it, this is the catalyst you've been waiting on. But now I have to be the adult in the room because here's where I part ways with the hype accounts. Even if this bill passes before August 8th, XRP is not hitting $589 overnight. Let me say it plainly. That 589 number, it's kind of a joke. It traces back to an anonymous poster on the internet all the way back from 2018 and also a fabricated Simpsons meme. It was never a real forecast. Reputable forecasters have put XRP in a far more modest range in the coming years. And even the aggressive institutional adoption models, they top out around $15 or $30 per XRP. And only if it captures serious tier 1 bank integration. Let's anchor yourself back to reality. And here's the other thing the hype crowd won't tell you. Even if the Clarity Act passes next month, the current implementation framework points to full effect in January of 2027. Institutional rollout requires system integration, and banks don't rewire their entire settlement infrastructure over a weekend. The true winners here are the patient capital allocators who secure their assets and ignore the noise. And I'd be lying to you if I told you this is a done deal. The Democrats still haven't seen the text. Galaxy Digital has downgraded the odds to a coin flip, mostly because the Senate calendar is so tight. So this is real. It's the closest we've ever been, but it's not guaranteed. That's the honest read. Now, let me talk to you directly for a second. If you're watching this, you probably already knew half of that. You know the rails are being built. You know the legislation matters. And yet your bag has been bleeding and going sideways for what feels like forever. That's not because you're stupid, and it's not because you picked the wrong coin. The reason is simple. Nobody ever handed you a system. You were taught one move. Buy the coin, hold the coin, hope the coin goes up. That's half of a map. And navigating the biggest regulatory shift in crypto history with half a map alone in the dark is the hardest possible way to do this. That's the entire reason we have our private intelligence network. Inside, our research team tracks exactly these regulatory catalysts before they hit the mainstream. We show members how to put their crypto that they already hold to work, earning yield instead of it just sitting there collecting dust and being dead on an exchange. We run live weekly training and technical analysis coaching, and we walk every member through proper self-custody, because if you don't own your keys, you don't really own anything. Picture yourself 6 months from now. Behind door number 1, you're right back here, refreshing the chart, reading about the move after it already happened. Behind door number 2, you saw the plumbing being built. You positioned early with a real framework, and you're moving with a level of control most people in this market will never have. If you want door number 2, click that first link in the description. The first step is just a short conversation to see if it's even a good fit. There's no pressure either way. Now, spots are limited, so you're going to want to hurry up. And if there's no available slots, make sure you check back in the next 24 to 48 hours. Everything in this video is education, not financial advice. Crypto is volatile and carries real risk. So never put more than you can afford to lose into crypto, and always do your own research. So let's bring it all home. The political roadblock that had the Clarity Act frozen for 7 weeks just got shattered by an ethics deal that strips the opposition of their only real argument. The path is clear for a Senate floor vote before August 8th, but the smart money is already positioned. The rollout takes years, not days. And the ones who win are the patient ones, not the ones chasing a debunked meme price. I'm Ryan Huggins, and if this video connected some dots for you, hit that like, subscribe so you don't miss our coverage of the vote itself, and drop your prediction for the Senate count in the comments. I'll see you at the top. Stay bullish.